10 in one episode, but we could talk about what was your favorite movie of the year kind of thing. Or some trends that you saw for this year for your top 10 or something.
I'm going to look at my top 10. Ranking and ranking, talk about movies. Yeah!
Yeah! Woo!
You're both looking at your top 10 list?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
What is it? One's on phone and one's on paper.
This is the difference in time.
So, why movies? Why do you want to talk about movies?
Because, I mean, we love movies. That's the only thing. I mean, we love going to the movies, right?
Yeah.
Well, you love watching them.
In the comfort of my own home.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I love the movie theater. Actually, I think out of all of my top 10, I saw all but one of them in a movie theater.
Very good.
So I think that enhances the experience.
Yeah, I mean, movies are made to be seen on a big screen.
Yep.
So, me too. I loved nothing better than to go in a movie theater and have a cherry Coke and some popcorn. And
So, since you both love movies, let's talk about your favorite movies.
Okay, so yeah, we were going to talk about our favorite movies of 2014.
That was a whole year ago.
I know. Well, because it's gonna, the Oscar buzz has started, and so
let's do 2015. Taken 3, Black Cat.
You saw those movies?
I did not.
Oh my god! I
But
would
they're
have
the
to
only ones
disown you.
released, so
I would have to cut it off. No. Did you see the interview?
Oh, I haven't yet. I still haven't seen
Thank
it.
God. I still have
it's
respect
on
for
Netflix
you.
now.
Is it really?
Yeah, you don't even have. I mean, I don't have to pay
Oh.
extra for it now. I just watch it on Netflix.
Oh, really? Wow. I don't think we should promote that film though, so we're gonna cut that out of this first episode.
Fine, that's fine.
So, gosh, what was your favorite movie of 2014? Do you have a favorite?
I don't actually have a favorite. It's between 3 films, so I have a top equal 3 tie, and they're all
Wait,
3...
top equal 3 tie. I gotta get this straight. Okay.
But they're all so different that it's hard to be that's my favorite.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. So, what are your top? What are your tie?
My triangle of perfectum.
Yes. Exactly.
So my top 3 films, all equally great, are Snowpiercer, Obvious Child, and Birdman.
Oh wow! I got one. I got Obvious Child is in my
Yes.
top because I do have a triumvirate or something. Because I loved Obvious Child and Boyhood has got to be in my top tie. And then I'm kind of torn. Guardians of the Galaxy I would like to put in there too.
Really?
Yeah.
Number 1 movie of the, or number 1 of 3
It was,
movies
as a movie-going experience, it was so entertaining and lovely, and I had such joy watching it. And
That's true.
Chris Pratt is, I'm always about the actors, and Chris Pratt I never expected to be that great. I mean, he is wonderful.
That's very true.
And creatively, it was fantastic, so I would put that in my top.
Okay. I mean, it's in my top 10, but it didn't make the top,
So that's really interesting that you have Snowpiercer in your...
Well, actually, I thought Snowpiercer and Guardians of the Galaxy, for me, were very similar. When I was watching them in the theaters, I had similar thoughts, but different. Let me explain.
Okay.
Snowpiercer, when I was watching it in the theaters, it felt like I was watching Blade Runner for the first time. It's a very gritty sci-fi. It could almost happen, but it's, otherworldly enough where you're okay, probably not. But it's still whoa, that's what our society is like. That is on a level...
Depressing.
It is very depressing. And both are very depressing sci-fi films, so... That's
there you go.
I was
it's the state of the world.
Cool enough to where this must have been what it was like. Similarly with Guardians of the Galaxy, it felt like I was watching Star Wars for the first time. I was in that theater going, wow, this is where technology has taken us in terms of special effects, and then this is a whole different world and galaxy, far, far away, that you're being transported to for the first time, especially for me, since I have never read Guardians of the Galaxy. I knew nothing about the universe going into it, and so that, for me, it felt a lot this is kind of
Wow, and you're such a comic book person. You read Guardians of the Galaxy?
I don't read DC or Marvel, so for me, all of my main universe DC Marvel knowledge comes from the movies and TV shows, and Guardians of the Galaxy hasn't been done anywhere with the exception of the comic book medium, so I knew very little about it.
So what were so it was Obvious Child, Snowpiercer, and Birdman.
Yes.
So Birdman, do you think that's going to sweep the Oscars?
I hope it is, but it's probably not. I mean, it's probably going to Boyhood, so you'll be happy.
Why didn't you not like Boyhood?
I did.
But that just sounded like,
I did, but Boyhood, actually, honestly, both of them were kind of about the gimmick. Here you have one movie that takes place over 12 years, shot over a 12-year time period in, really a week, but it was over 12 years. And then you have Birdman, that its whole gimmick was, hey, look, it kind of looks like it's one shot, but it really isn't. And so... filmmaking-wise, you had two opposite gimmicks going on. But Birdman hit closer to home for me, maybe as an actor, and also because it was involved in the theater. Yeah. So why it didn't hit close home to you?
It did. I was not happy with the way that the theater was depicted. I thought it was a very, I don't know. I felt depressed about the theater after coming out of that movie. I mean, I think creatively the movie's amazing. I loved Emma Stone. I think she steals the movie, and I hope she wins supporting actress, even though Patricia Arquette in my number one movie is probably going to win. But it was the part of the theater that I didn't like, so that was kind of interesting. But I loved the backstage look at the theater, like literally on the catwalks and down the stairways, and you've got those dressing rooms that are kind of gross. So, maybe I liked it better than I thought. Maybe it should be it's definitely in my top 10.
Okay.
It's definitely in my top 10.
As long as it's there.
And Obvious Child? What was that?
Oh, Obvious Child.
Yes.
It's a movie that came out in the summer, and it's a female director and a young female star, and she's a comedian, and it's about a woman that is very much like us, and we don't really get to see them very much in films. So that was really exciting, right? Would you agree with that?
It was very exciting. Jenny Slate, who stars in the movie, has basically said it's the abortion rom-com, which it is. It is.
Wow.
But it's not just defined by that plot point. It is more than that. But it's very cool to see a romantic comedy with a real woman, directed by a woman, and in a career of stand-up comedy that is not normally depicted by women on film. And so that was really cool. Plus the relationship depicted in it felt a lot more real than romantic comedies of yore, where it's like, everything's happy.
So I felt they were such a good couple. I mean, I kind of wanted them to have the kid, but then... it wouldn't be that movie.
It wouldn't be.
But they were so
Spoiler
sweet together.
alert!
Jake Lacey was the male lead, and I just really loved them together. And they were so different, but really compatible. So it's a good romance.
Yes.
It really was.
Yes. And I think, which actually didn't make my top 10, but I think between that and Babadook, you have these these movies that are, normally in a genre run by men who have been then directed by women that take an entirely different spin on genres that you kind of throw out, one being the romantic comedy, the other one being a horror film. And they're usually, those are usually the genres where you're like, it's cliched and blah, 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 blah. That was high-tech language, but yes.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And these kind of took them out of that shell and gave them life.
Yeah. Very well put.
Not really,
I could speak that. Except the blah, blah, blah. Probably shouldn't want to speak that way, but anyway. Yeah. Did you stop?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Maybe stop for a second.